Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got this question from Cole about investing. I talk a little bit about investing, and this is kind of combines investing and entrepreneurship together here. But Cole says, "Hi John, first I want to thank you for making videos. I just recently came across your channel and subscribed." Good. Subscribe if you haven't, by the way, and find the information to be very useful. I want to be able to generate passive income, so do you have any ideas of what I should do? I'm currently in college, monthly living expenses around $200 to $400. I'm assuming per month. Oh yeah, monthly. I have around 7K in assets. I want to get into real estate and I found a good place, but I was told I need 30K at least to invest. Should I take out a loan? Also, I'm considering to go to law school. Is that worth the investment? Looking forward to your response, Chris. So, Chris, lots of options here. I can't tell you exactly what to do in this situation since you made it kind of broad here. Should you go to law school? I don't want to tell you not to go to law school if you think that's a good investment, but maybe I can paint a picture for you and give you some kind of scenarios, and then maybe you can decide from there. So, your monthly living expenses are $200 to $400 a month. That's pretty awesome. That's a good place to be. If I were you in that situation, I would consider the aspect of creating a business and how easy it would be to create a business that just generates $200 to $400 a month. If you were to create your own business that generates that amount, and that's all you need because you're awesome because you haven't burdened yourself with all these debts like a lot of people have, where they're like, I need to get $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month of passive income, and then I'm like, well, okay, that's not going to happen in a year. But you, in a year, in 6 months, you could build something that's generating $200 to $400 a month. Heck, you could probably do that in 1 month if you make a service-based business. But within 6 months, you could have a web-based sort of online business and definitely be generating that amount of cash. It's not that hard to do, even if you're doing it part-time while going to school. And then, one thing to consider with that was you'd be free. This is like the freedom, getting out of the rat race. Because if your expenses are this and you are generating this, then you never have to work for anyone else. You can be your own free man and start off that way from college. To me, that sounds like a great opportunity. Like looking back now, I wish I had done something like that because that'd be pretty cool. That's not your only option, of course, but so that's something I would consider. And normally, see, this I would consider that being an investment as well, right? I think one of the best investments that you could possibly make, right, if you're willing to do the work, and I don't always recommend this investment because people aren't always willing to do the work, but building a business is a ridiculously good investment. Like, you're not going to get any kind of better return on investment than building a business, because especially if it's a sellable business, where you're doing it the right way. By the way, book on building a business the right way. 2 books actually I'll recommend. E-Myth Revisited. So this one is by Michael Gerber. Really good book. You should read this book. This will tell you how to build the right kind of business that's actually a sellable business. And then, of course, Built to Sell. I'm blanking on the author right now, but Built to Sell is also another good one. You read those 2 books, you're going to build the right kind of sustainable, sellable business that is actually an investment. And since you're looking for investments, that's how you want to do it, right? And that's just going to have a multiplier return on your investment of that time, because you're going to generate income from it, plus then you can sell it. As far as the real estate one, I've done some videos on real estate investment. I think there's probably a playlist here of all the ones that I've done. You could check that out. Of course, in my soft skills book, I have a whole chapter on that as well. But don't just jump into this, right? Do some research. A good book, Millionaire Real Estate Investor by, I believe, Gary Keller, the guy that founded Keller Williams. That's the book I usually recommend on real estate investment because it's pretty honest and it gives a good picture of it. And definitely do the strategy. Like if you've got my soft skills book, read the chapter in there and go and learn the market and learn before you just jump in. You don't want to do that and learn the hard way. But I do think it's a good investment. It's just that you got to be smart about this, right? So, and then, tackling the law school option, that's another route you could go. Obviously lawyers can make a lot of money, especially if they specialize, but don't go into debt so much to do it. That's the only thing I would say is that if you go into debt, I know a lot of lawyers that I know a lot of lawyers that are not making it. Like they're not doing awesome. Like you think, oh, he's a lawyer. That doesn't mean jack. That's a business that you have to run, and it's a service-based business, and you have to do it, and you have to get clients. Just having the Judas Doctrine doesn't mean anything by itself, right? Just passing the bar. So I know plenty of lawyer friends of mine that are basically like sitting in their office, they don't have clients, they're barely making ends meet, and they've got a huge student debt of like $70,000 weighing down on them, and they hate life, they hate the world, they hate everything. And so you don't want to become that. So I would definitely say, if you do go the law route, again, I think law is a good thing, right? Someday I want to get my law degree so that anyone who pisses me off, I can send them letters with my letterhead and say piss off, and and I don't have to worry, But anyway, if you go down that road, just make sure you do it smart. Think ahead. Don't go into debt. But whatever you want to do, I'm glad that your expenses are so low. I'm glad that you're thinking about investing. Don't take it lightly. Do the research. Take some action, of course, but think about this carefully. And you could go multiple roads. You could go and do law school, and you could still start a business on the side. Maybe that's the best thing to do. Anyway, you've got a lot of options out there. It's good that you're at this stage in your life and you're thinking about these things. I'm convinced that you'll find the answers because you're thinking about them. Keep thinking about them. Keep thinking like this way instead of just assuming that life is just going to come to you, because it's not going to happen, right? So anyway, great question. If you like this video, if you like this channel, subscribe. I would appreciate it, and I'll talk to you next time.